Hi, my name is Loli Jane, and I'm an animal communicator. So today, I'm sitting against this beautiful oak tree, and if you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I love doing podcasts or videos under trees. I like connecting with the earth, and so should you. During meditation today, I got that we need to slow down a lot more and connect with nature and find the wisdom in nature and reflect that out into the world. But today's podcast and video is about lost animals. This has been the week of lost animals. So, in honor of all the animals missing, I'm going to provide some information about how animal communication can help locate lost animals. So, the first and I would say most important point here is when one of your animals goes missing, it's not by accident. They don't just get lost. Sometimes when they leave home, they can't find their way back. That is true. And they may be in a confused state, but the reason they left home is very important. So that is one of the aspects how animal communication can help. They always do stuff for a reason. Animals do not do stuff for no reason. So if they leave home, there is probably an issue going on. There's many different issues that could be a possibility. So one could be that the animal is having relationship issues, either with another animal in the home, multiple animals, or a person. So there is definite hierarchy, as you know, with the animal kingdom. So as far as with pets, there is definitely a cat hierarchy, and it's almost like the alpha male or the alpha female, whoever the alpha is, also has an assistant alpha. You could call it the president and the vice president. So I've had many cats tell me, I'm not the alpha, but I'm the assistant. So they're the ones that do all the thug work. The alpha doesn't necessarily do all the menial labor. They're the ones that sit on the king of the throne and they tell the assistant what to do. And he's like the assistant bully. So there is a definite and definitive cat hierarchy. In the dog world, there's definitely an alpha. Sometimes it's an alpha female, sometimes it's an alpha male. And there is an alpha in the household. One could be the animal, one could be the human. So there's always an alpha. So sometimes it could be a relationship problem or something to do with the hierarchy. One of the animals has kicked out the other animals, saying you don't belong here, or they don't feel comfortable within the new hierarchy if they're new into the home and they're not feeling accepted. There could be 1,000,001 reasons. So it could be a relationship problem with the other animals, unbeknownst to you. And then it could be, that they were brought into the home and there's a bunch of animals already in there, or something has changed. There could also be relationship issues with the humans in the family. There's something that they're trying to show or tell you. But by show or tell, they are doing what we call mirroring. So mirroring is just like your spouses, your good friends, your family members, your children come in to mirror an aspect of your personality, because it's very difficult to see your own aspects. There's a Buddhist expression that says you can't see your eyelashes in front of your face. And that means your eyelashes sit on your head and you literally can't see them. Same thing with some personality traits that you need to work on. So our animals come in and they do this valuable gift to us, mirroring our relationships, mirroring our personality traits, and even mirroring illness and disease. Sometimes it has nothing to do with the animal. When you work on yourself, the animal will resolve its own issues. So sometimes they get frustrated because they may be showing or telling you something and you're not listening. It keeps going on and on and on. So the animal has just had it up to here. So sometimes that's a cause for them to run away. So a lot of times when I do cases with lost animals, the first thing I ask is, why did you leave home? And there's always a reason. And like I said, it could be multiple reasons. It could be one of these things that I'm mentioning, or none of all. None at all. So it could be also, instead of just a mirroring, it could be a relationship issue with one of the family members who maybe doesn't like animals, and they feel this constant conflict. And almost like a alpha versus non-alpha relationship. And so it could be a relationship issue with a family member, which is why they left home. And again, they're not being heard. They get frustrated. They get very, very frustrated because they're brought in to your life to help you with these issues and help you overcome things, and also help you move forward with your own lessons. And sometimes they're not being acknowledged or heard, and they're just over it. So they're like, I'm out of here. Let's see, other reasons that they leave home. So sometimes I've had people that sort of do animal communication themselves, but it's not a two-way communication. And the communications are kind of scattered, like they'll be talking to the animal, but they don't necessarily hear back the answers. So if you don't hear back the answers, then it's difficult to have a two-way communication. I'm not saying everybody should be an animal communicator, but that's why animal communicators of the world have our specialty, and we are here to offer our help and guidance. It is a life-changing gift to talk to your animal, and the intelligence level that they have is far beyond human. Somebody asked me once, I'm sorry, that's a garbage truck. Somebody asked me once, what is the dumbest animal? And I said, by far, the dumbest animal is a human. Our animals are so much more intelligent, and they also use all of their brain. They use the multi-dimension of their brain, where they can connect with the spirit realm and the physical realm, sometimes at the same time. They also don't forget who they are. They don't forget the lessons of who they are. They could tell me right off the bat, if I ask the question, what's your soul purpose in this incarnation? They immediately tell me. And they don't forget you from past incarnations or whatever lessons they're bringing forward with you. So your animals are a complete and total gift to you and the world. But back to the lost animals. Okay, so I want to just stress that there are many and multiple reasons why they leave home, and they don't just walk out the door and get lost. They don't just chase after butterflies. They know who you are and what their lessons are, and they're with you. And so that's first and foremost when I do a case with a lost animal. The second thing is, how can animal communication possibly help with a lost animal case? Okay, so here it is. So we are not psychics. Some of the animal communicators might be psychics. I personally am a clairaudient channel. I don't call what I do psychic. So it is telepathy. Telepathy is a science. It's actual science. There's actual scientific studies. It's used by the military. It's an exchange of information through thoughts, images, feelings, empathic feelings, sometimes sounds, sometimes smells. So using the senses, it's an exchange of information without having to move your mouth and open your mouth. So basically, I can quiet my mind. It helps me if I close my eyes when I do it. But usually when I do a case, I'm typing on a computer because I'm writing all the notes. So I've kind of honed that skill to not close my eyes. But if you're trying to do it yourself, it helps if you close your eyes and just connect to the animal and send a thought out, or an image, or a sound, or a feeling. So when I am helping people locate their lost animals, and let me just say, not everybody does this. A lot of animal communicators choose not to do this, and I will tell you why. Sometimes it's a thankless job. It's very difficult. Sometimes I'm literally looking for the animal on the computer, talking to them, communicating with a person, looking up Google Maps, drawing maps, etc. all day. It's like, sometimes 6 hours. So not a lot of, and sometimes they're never found. And, we never get the pat on the back, thank you for communicating with my animal. We get a lot of anxiety coming from each and every person who's lost their animal. So many communicators choose not to do this. I choose to do this. I choose to help bring back lost animals. This is one of the many things I do. So when I am doing a communication session, what I am doing is I am connecting through telepathy, talking to your animals directly. The first thing I do is I find out if they are still in their physical body or if they've already passed. I do that by asking them. I do that by doing a body check. I feel for their heartbeat. I feel for their energy. I make sure they're still in their physical body. Sometimes they don't know they've passed if they've been traumatized. So I make sure that I know that they're alive. And I sometimes have to give the persons, the humans, the unfortunate news that their animal has passed. But the good news is I can talk to animals, and all animal communicators can talk to animals that are in spirit realm. So we don't call ourselves mediums, it just is. We can talk to animals in spirit realm, your soul animals that have passed. So if the case is that the animal is still alive, I'm very happy, number one. And then I spend the next couple of hours getting details through direct telepathy, asking questions, and also using their senses. I ask if I could borrow their senses and see through their eyes, see what they see around them, hear what they hear, smell what they smell, sometimes taste, get feelings. You get empathic feelings of sometimes they're in danger or not, or they're sleeping or tired or hungry. And I ask for permission from the animal because it's very invasive to do that, to say, hey, can I jump in your body and borrow your senses? So most animals say yes, of course. This week, I've had an animal that said, absolutely, you do not have my permission. So I did not go there. They were not interested in giving up information because they wanted to be hidden. They didn't want to be found. That's another very important aspect of this. Do they want to be found, or do they just want some alone time? Or if the problems are not worked out at home, they don't want to come home. There's a situation where they don't want to be there, and the problems must be worked out with the persons at home first before they'll agree to come back. Some animals are in hiding. They need time away. They don't want to come back. They don't want to share where they are or what it looks like because we might find them. So in the case that the animals say, yes, I can borrow their senses, and they're directly answering questions, then I find out everything, where they are now, what they see around them, what they passed along their path, how far they are from the home. They understand time. I can get a sense of which direction they went because I can ask where the sun was when they left the house. If it was up above or to the right shoulder or the left shoulder, I could figure out what direction from the house they left. I could figure out I ask how far. They do understand. They're not going to say something point something miles. They're going to tell me, they're not that far, or, I'm still in the neighborhood or a couple of houses away, or, in minutes how far they are. They do understand time. They do understand 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. They do understand a couple of minutes. They're not going to say, I left at 1:32 a.m. So what I do and what animal communicators do is we gather up all the details, every single last stinking detail of anything that could help. The color of the house, what the house looks like, if they've been picked up by another human, if they were driven in a vehicle, what the vehicle looks like. They could hear the thoughts of the person, what the person said, what they look like, if they're inside a house, what the house looks like from the inside and outside, if they can see the outside, what the yard looks like, what the trees look like, the flora and the fauna, the shape of the house, the backyard, the side, anything they can see, if they're being fed, any last question to get details. And then I trace, like I said, from them leaving the house to where they are now, and then I want to find out from them if they're willing to come home on their own, number one, if they know how to get home, or if they're lost and confused and they do need help. And I get all kinds of answers. So if they do need help, and they don't know how to come home on their own, so we devise a plan. I talk to the person. We devise a plan that a window or door is going to be left open, or where they're going to go up to the window and bark or meow. All times, day or night, they could come back. I also do this shining light from two places. Okay, so if you want to connect with your animal, so you imagine there's a brilliant, lovely pink, like a baby pink, not a fuchsia, a baby pink tube of light coming from your heart to their heart. And turn it on, make the tube very big and a beautiful light pink, but brilliant, shining golden light with it. And keep that tube on. And that's how you connect heart to heart. You may even hear answers from your animal. So keep that turned on the entire time. And then you want to shine a light from inside your house through the roof. Shine a big, giant spotlight. Animals can see into the etheric, which means they can see energy. And they can see energy even when they're not in the physical place. So animals have this ability. We have this ability. We just forgot. I have this ability because I went to school for a long time, got mentored, and practiced. And so you keep that light on in your house the whole time. And I've had clients tell me that the animal, they've gone to other communicators or other, psychics or whatever, and they told them that the animal said that they can see the light. And I ask them, can you see the pink light coming off from your person's heart? And they're like, yeah, I can see it. I go, well, follow that home. That's your path home, and also the light coming from the house. I got asked the question, should you turn the heart light off when you go to work or you're not at the house? Well, we don't want to confuse the animal. We want him to come home. So what you can do, you can keep the heart light on, but keep the light in the house on. So you can turn, just kind of shut the heart light off while you're working or whatever. Keep the light in the house on, and then when you come home, you can connect the heart back. So Details, details, details. And then sometimes I get empathic feelings of how they feel. I'll feel like all of a sudden I'll feel great anxiety. Usually it's anxiety because sometimes they're scared because they've wandered off too far and they really don't know where they are. And in that case, what I do is I meditate with them. I actually do a meditation. It's sort of a pink light variation, but I do a meditation where I'm holding their paws. And because I do energy healing, I'm a pranic healer. Because I do energy healing, I can actually feel holding their paws. I can feel the paws in their hand, unless they don't want to. So I do that to calm both of us. I play some music in the background that helps me just go into more of a transcendental state. And I actually play John Seary music. Anybody know John Seary? He has like space music. For some reason, it just allows me to do the transcendental thing really quickly. There's a song or an album that he produced called Fantasy Passages, John Seary. He's done all the scores and the composition for a lot of space movies. Okay, so I do meditation with the animal, and sometimes you'll get physical pains where actually, like out of nowhere, you'll get horrible pain with something, or you'll get just a feeling of despondency or anxiety or something, or trauma or whatever it is. So, I always ask them about that. I always ask them how they're feeling. If I get a feeling of something, I never put my own opinion first. I never make judgments. When I go to communicate with an animal, I clear my mind of whatever the person told me. I make sure I do not get too much detailed information, because then what you're doing is you're going into a communication session with this already on your mind, and you think, oh, I wonder if it's that. So I'd rather not have any details, just the basics. I tell people, do not feed the animal communicator. So we just like to know the basics. And then I go in there with a clean slate and open mind, and even if somebody's told me, they talked to a prior communicator and they told them this, or they talked to a psychic or pendulum or Reiki or whatever, no matter what they've told me, I clean my mind and I ask them the questions just as if I don't know, and I get their direct answers. Me personally, I hear audio. So I love that. It's so exciting. Not all animal communicators get audio. So the way some animal communicators get it is just images. Some just get empathic feelings. Some get thought forms that come in, but it's not audio. It could be like words, images of words. I get actual audio, I get images, I get empath, I get pain, I get it all. But audio is fun because you get the exact personality of the animal. So I can tell you when I've done a session, the personality of the animal. So I connect with the animal. I get all the detailed information for lost animals. And then I connect with the person. So the session with the person we could do on the phone. All of this can be done remotely or in person. So obviously I'm connecting with the animal remotely. So I can do a phone session or in person or FaceTime or WhatsApp or whatever with the person. And then we go over all the notes. We go over all the notes together because there's some clarifications that need to be understood and made. I do send notes at the end after we're finished, but it's important that we talk because sometimes we need to look on Google Maps to see directions or to see the colors of houses that I got or the details or the street signs. Sometimes I draw my own maps and send to them. Sometimes we look at all kinds of images, and we devise a plan for them. First and foremost, you need good signs, and I wouldn't put, you need to give details and a picture of the animal, but I wouldn't put too much personal information on there. Give them maybe just your phone number or just an email. And you don't have to put the name of the animal, but you do need to put, details, male or female, the breed of the animal. If they're microchipped, you can write chipped, you can check the chip. And one word about the chip, make sure that your microchip is up to date with the microchip company, because sometimes they will not provide anybody with a name or address unless you have paid an annual fee. So some of them require an annual fee. So find out when you get your animal, if they're already pre-microchipped, contact the microchip company, make sure your address is updated, especially the city, and make sure you're paid up if there is an annual payment. If they're not microchipped, they might have a collar on them. The best thing to do is to put a collar on them with your cell phone number and their name and your name or the animal's name. Because I have lost a dog many times when I had a dog, and the dog just liked to go exploring the neighborhood. So I lost my Frosty many, many times, and I finally put a tag on him. Well, that helped a lot, because I got phone calls, I have your dog Frosty, I have your dog Frosty. The police called me one day and said, we have your dog Frosty, we love him, he's at the police station, and we're giving him snacks. My dog just liked to roam. He just liked roaming around the neighborhood. That's what it was. Okay, so the human and I do our communication sessions. Sometimes I still have the animal live with their picture still up, and I haven't disconnected or said goodbye to them, so we can ask a few more questions at the end if we need to. And then what I do is I give suggestions to the person. So the signs, put up good signs. Even if you do not participate in social media, you must participate in social media in the event of a lost animal, because some people do not look at signs. They only do social media, and there are what you should look for is you could Google lost animals near me, and you could find a Facebook group, a private or public Facebook group, lost animals near me, and you'll find your city, your town, your county, or a small neighborhood area. And those are the groups and the pages that you need to get on. Post your animal, share, ask people to share, and get on more than one site. Also, there's something I know you know is Nextdoor app. So Nextdoor is only local areas, and you have to put in your zip code and your address to even get in there. So it's basically your neighbors. And that's a really good place to post, and ask them to share also. Just share through social media, even if you're not a social media person. It's really important in this day and age. And then, of course, connect with the SPCA, the local, see if your animal's been captured or taken. So other than that, it's taking those details that I provided and going to those houses, knocking on doors. If you're embarrassed or you don't think that your neighbors believe in animal communication, which they may or may not. If you don't want to mention animal communication, you can go up to the door and say, my dog or my cat really likes to hide in these ... certain places. Really loves to hide in sheds, or really loves to hide in, or really loves houses with swimming pools, or whatever it is. Make up something. And bring your poster and say, is it okay if we check your backyard together or whatever. Hopefully they'll be open to it. If you feel that they're open to animal communication, I give you all the notes, like 7 pages of notes. So you can bring the notes and give the details to the person. So it's up to you. Use your discretion. So thank you so much for being open and allowing this profound knowledge and gift to be accepted by you. And if you know anybody who has any lost animals, please do not hesitate to contact me. My website, it's very easy. It's 2 words, animals-speak.com. Animals with an S on the end, dash, which is a hyphen, not an underscore, speak.com. Okay, and follow and like me. I also have a Facebook group called Animal Communication and Healing, and a Facebook page called Lowly Jane Animal Communication and Healing. So have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you.